And we live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode, a live show of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. I got a special guest on the show here today. I want to take and introduce him, and then after that, we're going to talk about why you clicked on the thumbnail. First and foremost, I got my guest coming on the show today. He's here with us now, Mr. E on the mic. E, what's going on, man?
What's going on? What's going on, Doug? Going straight into the live. I see that, Doug. I see this already on the
Yeah,
live
man.
stream. Hey,
It's,
man. The
it's going to
NFL
be a
draft
great
is this
show.
week. The NFL draft is this week, man.
This week, bro. Like, man, let me see. Today's Monday. It's Monday's almost over. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, fam, we got 4 days left, bro. 4.5 days left, depending on how you look at it. But
if you're looking at Dolphins' perspective, 4 days. 4 days.
Man,
If you're talking about everybody else, 3 days. Unless you already trade your first round pick away, then that's a different story.
Yeah, if you're a Dolphins fan like you and I are, man, it's
Dolphins, Raiders, Bears, Rams.
We gotta wait till Saturday, man.
Cleveland. So at this point, we're just waiting. At this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, guys, shout out to my homie, man, Blake Dupre. Blake, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Blake?
Man. Huge supporter of the show.
What's going on?
Appreciate your kind words, man. So in today's episode, we're going to do it's not a mock draft, but we're going to talk about the first round, some predictions. It's really a 2022 NFL draft first round preview. We're going to get into that today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got a lot of interesting topics. In the meantime, hang tight because I'm going to take and play the intro video. And we'll be right back with you in about 30 seconds.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heisman, 2 views, catch him on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, new news, who win, who lose, comedy, you choose. It's not about moolah, the QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooter, play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the beef. Rivalries will lead the conference, Cowboys of the Eagles. Will Belichick be a threat, better check. Tomlin on deck, much respect to the vet. What you expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, check. At the best, bad boy, the sports podcast for the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back, clueless. Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.
And there you have it. Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, the most kick-ass podcast in the world, blue collar podcast. Man, we've had a lot of great interviews lately, man. From Nakobe Dean, Danny Gray from SMU, Brian Asamoah from OU, Hassan Haskins from Michigan. Dude, we've had it all, man. We've had people from HBCUs, little schools like Citadel, you name it. They are there, man. So
you already know. Man, shout out to Toxic T.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always showing love. Thank you, guys. So let's get into quarterbacks. Now, a lot of people, and I don't blame them, this is not a quarterback deep year, but I feel like people, they tend to define the NFL draft based off how the quarterbacks are. You know, it's like, man, can the fat boys get some love? Can the people in the trenches get some love? Can the punters get some love? They were football players too. But I do want to take and say quarterbacks, man. E, I'll start with you. How many quarterbacks do you have going in the first round this year?
Wow. I'm going to say 3. I'm actually going to say 3. I know everyone will have it at 4, maybe even 5 in this year's draft. But I just feel the teams that really need it, like I'll name 3 quarterbacks I have right now. Kenny Pickett's one of them. Malik Willis and Sam Howell. I think those 3 quarterbacks, I think they're first round durability to be drafted in this first round. Okay. Now you might say, where's Matt Corral and other players there? Or Desmond Ridder. I just don't have them there in the first round. I don't see them. They can make it drafted in somewhere in the mid rounds there, second, third round there. But I think Malik Willis would be great. I know we're about to discuss Malik Willis, but Malik Willis, he could be somewhere in the top 10 right there. And same thing with Kenny Pickett, although I might have him around top 20. And then where I have Sam Howell, I have him like right at dead last where Detroit will pick a quarterback. Because I don't think Detroit will pick a quarterback at number 2. I think they're going to get an edge around there. Just something to contribute for Detroit, especially looking at a lot of edges like Aiden Hutchinson as well.
Yeah. And that's a good hot take, man. I got Malik definitely in the first round. I got Matt Corral in the first round. I have like 4 in my mock draft. I had like 4 quarterbacks in the first round. just because like this year it's so deep in the trenches. It's so deep at the wide receiver position. It's so deep at the tight end position. There's a good amount of linebackers in this year's draft. So it's a really interesting year for sure. I'm definitely, definitely.
And especially,
Oh, good.
not me to cut you off, but especially the teams that really need it. Like, for example, Carolina's a team that needs a quarterback. They're looking at Sam Darnold. They're not really comfortable with Sam Darnold, although I would love them to pick an offensive line just to help their protection. But that's another team that needs a quarterback. Seattle's one of them. They have Drew Lock. Maybe that's where Malik Willis may eventually get drafted towards, especially. Of course, Malik Willis is not quarterback ready to year one, so he might have to sit out like Patrick Mahomes did that year with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of a weird transition going from Drew Lock to Malik Willis in Seattle. But I think that's the course you want to take there. The Falcons could be another team that needs a quarterback as well. You can trust in Marcus Mariota, but I think you need a quarterback right behind him. Just bring him some depth. Marcus Mariota has some years there. He's a veteran. He can teach the young quarterback coming up. Saints need a quarterback. They had Jameis Winston. Of course, they're going to have him, but at least you have Kenny Pickett right there in the draft as well. And the Steelers, the Steelers are also another team that have been looking for a quarterback. I know they have Mitchell Trubisky, Money Mitch, as they like to call him,
Money Mitch.
But how long are you going to trust in Mason Rudolph, and rest his soul, Dwayne Haskins, man?
Well, I'm going to say this, man. So let's answer. We got Toxic T. Thank you for the question. He says, what teams do you guys think need a QB like ASAP? I'm going to hot take. Here it is. And this is going to lead into the next question. I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings and also the Indianapolis Colts. They're two teams that are very well-rounded. They both have very, very good defenses, have great offensive pieces. Look at Minnesota, one of the best receivers in the game. They have Cook, one of the best running backs in the game, right? And when you have talent like that, man, you don't want it to go to waste with a guy like Kirk Cousins. I feel like someone like Malik Willis with the type of talent that is not only on that team, but Green Bay Packers aren't the big dog anymore. There's going to be a new dog in that division, man. So Malik Willis, if I had to say, I would say Minnesota. I feel like the Colts have a little bit more time. They're not quite established at, say, like the receiver position, but they do have an outstanding running back. There's Walker, I think was the last name, I believe it was. But yeah, to answer your question, Toxic T, that's who. That's who I got. I say it's between the Colts and the Vikings, but if I had to choose. Let me ask you a question. I know you said Malik Willis first round. Where do you got him landing?
I actually have him landing in Seattle. I know a lot of Seattle fans have been telling me that they should get Derek Stingley, the cornerback at LSU. They need cornerback help. I understand that point of issues there, which I have him going at 4. But the reason why I have Malik Willis there, you get a quarterback experience. You just trade Russell Wilson away. And you need a quarterback, especially. How long are you going to trust in Drew Lock for? That's unless Carolina gets Malik Willis there. I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina gets Malik Willis as well.
Yeah.
But I really feel Malik Willis will land at number 9. You still have Tyler Lockett there. You still have DK Metcalf, Chris Carson there. All they need some pieces there. They need defensive pieces as well and some offensive line. That's the main issue that's been talked in Seattle for a long time. The protection. Why else do you think Russell Wilson wanted to get traded out of there to go to Denver? Denver has an offensive line that can block him. Seattle does not have an offensive line at all. So I think for them, you get a quarterback, and then this draft is death with offensive line. So you can either draft an offensive line in the first round or second. But I feel that their strong need is to get a quarterback for their future. I understand there's quarterbacks of next season that could be much better than this draft class right now. But I think you take the chance with Malik Willis. And if you're Pete Carroll, you're trying to save your job, that's the move you take.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Malik Willis, I like him, man. I have some concerns because he's really raw. When I say raw, he is raw. But you look at the ceiling and what he can do, like you're talking about a guy who's as fast as Lamar Jackson, has a beast arm, but not the most accurate, and then sometimes it's decision-making. Then on top of that, you're in a division with not the most talent. But underneath the right coaching, like literally the right organization who's willing to commit to him, I feel if Malik Willis was to end on the Colts, that wouldn't be a good look because I feel like they can't commit to a quarterback. You know what I mean? They're like the cheating husband who can't commit to one woman. They hit 5 quarterbacks in 5 years for the Colts, right? So I'd hope a guy like that wouldn't land there. They're going to get somebody, right? I could see them possibly going with the Matt Corral because I feel like he's the most he's the safest bet if you're going quarterback, right? Definitely going to be interesting. Hey, Blake, man, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see what team Jabari Smith become part of in the NBA. War Damn Eagle, Auburn basketball is beast mode.
Hey, listen. Auburn got lost to the Hurricanes. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say for you, Blake. That's all I'm gonna say to you. That's all I'm gonna say to you. I know we got blown up by Kansas, but I just want to throw. I know it's off topic, but you gotta bring up Auburn there. Nah, the Hurricanes blew them by. It's all good.
My man Blake is probably one of the most
sorry. A little bit off topic, but I just want to say is that Auburn basketball, man.
One of the most passionate. Actually, not one of. He is the most passionate Auburn fan I've ever met in my life, man. He's like he's my 411 guy. If I need some news on somebody, I'm like, hey man, what do you think about this, man? He's a cool guy. Blake, thank you for tuning in, man.
Shout out to Blake there. Shout out to Blake.
Shout out to Blake. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, my whole thing is like he's just really raw, so that development is really important. Sam Howell, I have a lot of questions about him. He's really good. Then you got Dennis Ritter, right? Dennis Ritter is just raw. He's athletic. Then you have Kenny Pickett, fantastic arm. The only thing
sorry to interrupt you there, but the only thing I kind of worry about is not his hands for Pickett. I think it's more his time awareness in the pocket. There's some times where you look at film for Kenny Pickett, he has the time, but he starts scrambling out of the pocket, which kind of confuses me a little bit because he has the protection. Like when he has protection, he doesn't really need to go outside. Once he goes outside, then you're free for nothing and get sacked right there, which I think that's something that you got to worry about if you're looking at Kenny Pickett in the draft there as well. Yeah. But that's my only issue with Kenny Pickett. But other than that, he's a great quarterback, time down the field, and his ability to run, especially that fake run, if you remember that fake run in the ACC championship.
And on top of that, there's a few other quarterbacks who, the NFL, man, when it comes to quarterbacks, I feel like the first time in a very long time, man, there's not a whole lot of vacancies in the NFL. A lot of teams have their guy because now colleges, it's pro-style quarterbacks, right? It's not like, oh, yeah, this year's draft, you have like one or two guys, Now it's getting to a point where it's like there's like a consistent 4 guys who could possibly make it, maybe even 5, right? On 32 teams, it just got that much more competitive. You know what I'm saying? Got that much more competitive. That being said, there's a few other guys out there. There's a quarterback from Western Kentucky University who's very good. You have another guy, Dustin Crum from Kent State. Had a fantastic pro day, great stats. He could run the ball. Dude had 700 yards on the ground, like white Michael Vick style, man. He just dropping his shoulder, trucking people, juking people. He could get the ball downfield. But then, of course, NFL teams, they really love them Alabama even though it's not one in this year's draft, but they really love those quarterbacks who come from big programs, or even, like a Cincinnati this year who shocked the world, right? So, and everything like that. Let's hop in our next question here. We got Toxic T says, do you guys think Juju will possibly be a good replacement for Tyreek? I'll go first on this one. I'll let you hop on this, E. You can't replace Tyreek. You can't. But you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, very similar to Brady. He brings out the best qualities in people. And I feel like Juju going to the Kansas City Chiefs is much needed. This is going to rejuvenate his career because there have been some no crazy stuff. You don't hear about him body slamming girlfriends or anything like that. But, there's been some maturity things with him, dancing and all that stuff. So, there's a time and place for everything. I feel like, people need to grow up. I look, when I played football, I had to grow up because I did some stuff that wasn't necessarily good. But I like Juju. I think he's going to be a huge impact player. Can he replace Tyreek? No, but I think they could still be very successful with the Juju Smith-Schuster. And who knows? If he has a good year, it's a 1-year contract. Who knows? It could possibly blossom into something beautiful later down the line. E, what you got, man?
I feel Juju could be a great place as a second receiver for the Chiefs. I know right now he's as a number 1 guy right now. Now, he's not going to be like Tyreek Hill with his speed and his ability, but he brings to the table a wide receiver who has history in the past, has been a second option and the first option on the Steelers organization, now going to the Chiefs there. Now, you got to remember, the Chiefs do have 2 first-round picks there. If they're trying to look for something maybe similar to Tyreek Hill, you look at Sky Moore, has the same speed as Tyreek Hill. He's the same size as Tyreek, 5'10",
Yeah.
5'10", which if you're the Chiefs, you gotta look at Sky Moore. Although he's projected as an early second round, late first round. That would be something if you want to say something, a good replacement for Tyreek a little bit. Now, of course, not saying that he's gonna be Tyreek, but he has the ability to become another Tyreek for the Kansas City, especially when you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
on your squad.
Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite receiver this year's draft?
This year's draft, I've actually been liking the Ohio State Chris Olave. I actually do like Chris
Olave, yeah.
Olive.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's I know
I
it's
thought
a
it was
few ways you can say it. It's Chris Olave.
Olave. Listen, I'm not good at names, but hey, but I've been liking him, especially at Ohio State. I feel he can be. He's a top 10, top 15 wide receiver, no question about it.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if I see Atlanta Falcons taking him. The Eagles, I know they're looking for another wide receiver there to pair up with the wide receiver there right now. So
Yeah.
we can see if we can get it done.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Chris Olave, man. He liked my video interview I did with Warren Newman III. He's a kick returner, punt returner, receiver / running back for Jackson State University, man. So shout out, man. I don't know if you're ever gonna watch this stuff again, man. But
also, it's Devontae Smith. That was the word I was thinking of. Devontae Smith to pair up with Devontae Smith.
Oh man, dude, if Eagles, bro, they could have one of the most illest receiver groups, man, because they're still mad over Jalen Reagor. And I don't think Jalen Reagor is a bad player, but he's no way in heck the same guy who Minnesota drafted, right?
Especially the player that got drafted after him, which probably drives the Eagles fans a lot crazy. With Justin Jefferson getting drafted and the next pick after him,
yeah,
is one of those what ifs. Because I'd be honest, I thought Justin Jefferson was going to be drafted by the Eagles the way he was talking, but that was a surprise pick. Not a lot of people were saying he was a first round pick, Jalen Reagor. So,
oh man, bro, that was in my mock draft, bro. I was like, here it is. Okay, Eagles, they're about to get Jefferson, Justin Reagor, TCU, and I'm like,
that was a throw ball. That's a curveball right there.
And my whole thing is like, now I'm not. My initial reaction is I'm not mad. I just let me research this, before I start sounding off, and you know what I'm saying. So, and then I got mad later. I was like, well, he's fast. He's really, really fast. But we've seen this time and time again. People kill it in the NFL Combine, and that doesn't always take and transfer over. That's like if Usain Bolt became an NFL player, right? If he became an NFL player, he's fast, but he's not going to be that good. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I had a buddy of mine in high school, man. Shout out to Dominic Knight, Rogers High School, man. He had all kinds of school records. Amazing track star. They had him on the football field. Dude had a fumbling problem. Football didn't quite work out, So sometimes that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? So, all right. Next topic: running backs. The next question I take and I have today is running backs. My question, and E, you could go ahead and kick this off. Do you think it's worth taking a running back in the first round in this year's draft? Go.
For majority teams, I wouldn't. I mean, there's still great running backs, but especially a lot of needs right now. What's more depth in, especially the defensive line, the speed, the wide receivers right now that you see in this draft. It's kind of hard. I mean, the only running back I could really see can contribute there is Breece Hall, and I think Buffalo Bills may even take that because they need a running back. They have Singletary, they have Moss, and they have our truly from last year, if you recall, the running back Duke Johnson. So, I mean, they can get another running back there. And that just to fulfill, so you don't have Josh Allen scrambling a lot because yes, Josh Allen's a great scrambler, he's a great passer, but the thing is, how long are you gonna let Josh Allen be the leading rusher for your team for that many years?
Yeah,
to the point where he's only a pocket quarterback when he gets to his 30s, because at least you want to get him with some healthy legs there. He'll still be mobile, but he's gonna get hit a lot.
Yeah.
So you want to address either the running back there. I know there also needs his defensive line there as well for the Bills. But for the running backs, majority of all, you're mostly going to see them getting picked in the mid-round picks there, like the second, third, fourth. That's usually where all the running backs will get drafted mostly. Yeah. And some of them are going to be gems. Some of them are going to be gems. Kenneth Walker, for example, Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller, for example, can be really great gems in this year's draft. that would be like, wow, how come he landed in the third round? What? Like Jonathan Taylor for a few years back got drafted in the second round pick. Look where he is now. He's being arguably the best, almost like the best number one running back in this league, besides of course Derrick Henry. But at that's a prime example of draft picks can fall and then be right there, and you got the right gem right there.
I agree, man. You made a great point, man. I mean, the Bills that they had, what were they, like the 28th pick or something like that?
There they are, the 25th.
25th. Okay, 25th. So you're daggone near the second round. I mean, it's not nobody's gonna be mad at you if you pick Kenneth Walker the third. Nobody's gonna be mad at you. But if you don't, know that Hassan Haskins will be available, right? Possibly second, maybe third. Then you have Damon Pierce from Florida. Then you have the running back from USC. Skipping on my head right now. Then you have James Cook, who is the brother of Dalvin Cook over in Minnesota. Oh, runs just as efficiently too. And then they have another run. They actually have two running backs in this year's draft. Then you have the running back from South Dakota State in there, man. Mm-hmm. Man, it's just there's a lot of really good talent in this year's draft, man, where you could possibly get, a really good, possibly a running back one by third round. You know what I mean? So Bills need to get some other areas. But I agree with you, E. I agree with you, man. You can't have Josh Allen getting smacked around, right? So
if you're just looking at Buffalo Bills standpoint, it's like they've been looking for a running back for a few years now, and Singletary, as much as he's looking great, especially in the playoffs last year, he was looking great, but you just need another running back into that system there, and especially Zach Moss was injured most of the year as well. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you want to get him in the first round, I mean, you can still get him in the second or third if he's still available. But if you really think someone's going to get him before, then yeah, you will take that chance and drafting him first. That's probably the only running back I will say that will get drafted in the first round. But I don't really see a running back that get drafted.
Yeah,
really in the first round.
If it happens, I would say get. Was it Kenny Walker third?
Kenneth Walker third, yeah.
Kenneth Walker third, yeah. I would say him. I feel like Hassan will be there in the second round. He might potentially be there in the third round. Hassan is a beast, man. He's the reason that Michigan beat Ohio, man. You look back at that game, it's crazy. So very exciting. Toxic T got a question. What do you guys think? Will Lamar Jackson be himself next season and keep running the damn ball or throw it? I'm going to say it's about Lamar Jackson, man. That's a great question, Toxic T. Thank you, man. I'll answer this one first. I think Lamar is going to have a massive year. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be in the Super Bowl conversation. It's now or never for them, right?
Right.
It's a contract year. And this is the same Lamar where, like, rookie year, I'll be honest with you, man, I really wasn't feeling Lamar. I'm like, this ain't going to work out. This is just not going to work out. He's fast. He's all over the place. You can see the potential, but it's like, I mean, dude, like we seen Pat White. I don't know if y'all remember Pat White, played for the Dolphins many years ago. They ended up making him a receiver, but like we see this tons of times where dudes come, they're really athletic, but that doesn't always make them a good quarterback. And then his sophomore year comes for Lamar Jackson. I'm going to answer your question, Toxicity. I'm just going to go all around the cat's tail real quick. Then his sophomore year comes, and dude, he stunk it up, man. I'm like, this is not the same person that I watched last year. He had a massive offseason. He's been putting in work. And I see Lamar Jackson having that same really comeback season this year. This is also a great year for them to solidify and really strengthen the O-line. They had a crap ton of injuries, man. I don't see that happening again, but obviously you want to add depth. This is a great year for depth. If you're a good team, you're a Buccaneers, you're a Ram, a Raven, and you already have an almost perfect team, this is a great year for depth. So to answer your question, man, I have him having possibly the best throwing year. I just, again, they got to draft O-line, man, and fit and add depth to other positions that were littered with injuries last year. So, E, what you think, man?
Before I get into Lamar Jackson, by the way, Pat White, great West Virginia quarterback, but let's be honest, Pat White ain't no Lamar Jackson. Let's be real. Let's be real on that one. You cannot say Pat White was going to be Lamar Jackson in the NFL, especially where how Miami was using him as. I mean, he had maybe a few more years in the CFL, but I don't think he was ever going to be like a Lamar Jackson winning an MVP of the NFL
Well,
had
I'll
that
say
type of
this.
career. That's why I was like, wait, what?
I
Wait,
was
he's comparing Matt
shocked.
White with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I was shocked that the Baltimore Ravens truly committed to a
A run style offense.
to that type of quarterback who plays the way that Lamar does, right? A lot of times teams do not commit. We saw this, God rest his soul, Tavares Jackson with the Minnesota Vikings. You know, he was one of them quarterbacks. And as soon as Brett Favre became available, like, oh, Brett, come on over here to Minnesota. You know what I mean? So Miami, they ended up just making him a receiver, and he just kind of fizzled out after, was it 2 or 3 years in the NFL? So it's frustrating, man, because I wanted him to be a quarterback and have that same type of success. But Miami, it's two different organizations, man. If you compare Miami back then to the Baltimore Ravens now, like they don't commit. So,
well, I'll answer it real quick before he heads out. For Lamar Jackson, I think he's gonna be much improved. You're gonna have a squad there this time. There's not gonna be a lot of injuries. Last year, you had a lot of injuries, especially in the running back group. A lot of injuries there for the Baltimore Ravens there. So you're going to have everyone healthy back, and you're going to have the AFC North, which is going to be tough. You still got to compete with the Browns, still got to compete with Cincinnati, maybe even the Steelers if they get a good quarterback there or offensive line there. But, yeah, I really do truly see Baltimore having a great year. I don't know about Super Bowl yet, but I'll still say playoff contention as well.
Yeah, the AFC
definitely much
East,
better than last year. I'll tell you that right now.
Every division in the AFC is a freaking minefield. Hey, real quick, shout out to the Fence Tailgate, man. We got a collab, man. He has a super dope channel. Great conversation, man. If y'all see this on the screen, see him in the comments. Click his channel, hit that subscribe button, man. Show my guys some love,
Good
man.
old Finn's Tailgate. Although Finn's up there.
Finn's up, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is.
Let's get back in the NFL draft now, Doug. Let's bring it really back in here.
All right, so man, we got so we talked about running backs. Can a running back go in the first round? How many quarterbacks do we think is taking on the first round? I'm going to take and talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau, for those who don't know, he is an edge rusher coming from University of Oregon Ducks. Many mock drafts, if you were looking on perhaps 3 months ago, 2 months ago, they had him as the number 2 overall pick. But it is mighty crazy how things change. Now he didn't show up to the NFL Combine, right? To really solidify that and really embed it in teams like, hey, I'm worth the number 2 pick. I'm not quite Aiden Hutchinson, but damn it, if you take a chance on me, I'm a better version of Jadeveon Clowney. That's what I'm seeing, right? Ooh. And I still see a very good player, man. I really do, man. I think Kayvon Thibodeau, man, is really going to take and shock the world, man. I think he's going to whatever team gets him, but he's gonna need. I feel like he needs some development. I feel like a lot of players who don't go towards the NFL draft, it's usually a good reason, like, hey, there's an actual injury, or they're trying to hide something. Somebody got a secret. Maybe he's not as fast. Maybe he's not as talented. Or, but I think he's dope, man. But I'll kick it off with you. Do you think he's going to take and go to the first round, or do you think he'll slide to the second?
I'm going to say he's giving me the first round. I actually still have him as number 2, actually, my mock draft, actually. I still have him going to Detroit Lions right there. I think he's still a great pass rusher there. He has great flexibility in his hips there where he can go through the edge there. My only issue with him is just losing containment on the line, especially in the run game and the passing game, and also the starting too. Like, he gets a great first two starts, but then he starts stuttering right there on the line, and then that's where the tackle just gets in there, doesn't really move too much there. That's really the main concern that I have with Thibodeau, and that's probably why people are probably scared of even drafting him. That's probably why some mock drafts you see him going as far down as maybe in the top 10 to the 12s, right? 20, excuse me. And he's still a great pass rusher. Yes, it's coachable where you can get coachable, fix his containment there, in the run game, the pass game. Those are coachable, especially. I think he just got to work on his technique once he gets through the drive there as well. But he's still a great pass rusher out of Oregon. So I still say I'll still take a chance on number 2. Is it going to be risky? Yes. But at the same time, you're still getting a great pass rusher for your organization as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If I have the number 2 pick, I'm not selecting Kayvon Thibodeau, but I do feel like he will be selected in the first round. I just feel, in my opinion, he's going to slide. That's just I feel like he's going to slide.
No, I understand. I've heard that Trayvon Walker has gone. gotten the big old jump there as well at number 2. I know I heard those. I mean,
Trayvon Walker number two.
I'm not really thinking Trayvon Walker at number 2. I'm thinking more like below like top 5, 10, 10
Oh, draft.
area. You know,
Yeah.
because I've seen mock drafts where Trayvon Walker's at number 2 right now.
Mhm.
I just don't think at that point it's gonna be too high for Trayvon Walker. I think it's gonna be a little bit low, just for
Yeah.
that argument's sake there.
Yeah. I feel you, man. I feel you. It's gonna be interesting. I got who did I got? I got Evan O'Neal as my first overall pick.
Speaking of first row overall picks, you say Evan Neal. Interesting.
Yeah, I had Aiden Hutchinson as number 2. Number 3, I gotta look back at the board, but it wasn't Kayvon Thibodeau. It's good though, man. But I mean, there's some good defensive players that, man, there are a lot of good defensive players that are gonna slide too, man. And this is a year that if you would have a lot of draft picks, the middle rounds are gonna be crucial for you, you know.
Nobody's mock draft is secure, locked. Let's put it that way.
Oh man, I don't know if you watched one of my shows before. I was like, be ready for some very inaccurate mock drafts this year. Like last year I got 6 right. I got 6 right in the first round. That's pretty damn good. But,
oh yeah, and then that just went out the script right there.
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you my first overall pick. I really feel the Jaguars will pick Aiden Hutchinson there. Now, I understand why you need protection there for Jacksonville. But if you recall, Jacksonville's weakness last year was getting the pass rush. They were dead last in the pass rush, to the point where you were making stats and saying Jaguars are going to be the least team that will get many contribute in the pass rush. And that's what the team you need. Remember, Saxonville, you think of pass rushing. Remember the good old Saxonville back in 2017.
Yeah.
Now you have a great defensive end, Josh Allen there, who can contribute, especially in that Buffalo Bills game. If you recall, Josh Allen dominating over Josh Allen. Why not get a player like him, Aiden Hutchinson, on the other side of that ball, play him on 3-on-4 type of offense. You have both of them rushing into the quarterback there, contributing a lot into that. Now, you don't want to see him play as a linebacker there. He's still great at the run there, too, but I think just containment is also another issue for Aiden Hutchinson there as well. Great pass rusher, especially.
Yeah.
Great with his techniques. Great on the pass rush. Makes his presence known onto that field. And that's who I really feel. Huh?
He's a great game player, man. He's that guy that you want to look. You look at J.J. Watt from like 5-6 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at this man, and dude, entire offenses have a game plan around him, right? You look at Aaron Donald, entire offenses have the game plan around this one player, and that opens it up for other players, right? So, yeah, I like Aiden Hutchinson, man, going to Jackson. It's just tough, man. Do you take the edge rusher, or do you protect, your Trevor Lawrence, right? It's tricky,
It's kind of tricky. I understand why Jacksonville is in that situation there. They just did re-sign Cam Robinson. You got to recall that Cam Robinson was going to be a free agent, but they did re-sign him there. I mean, you still got some draft picks. You got a lot of capital there. You can still play with Jackson, especially how depth it is. I think just fixing that part, especially on defense, because defense can create points for your offense or can create points on the defensive side. And what better way to pressure the quarterback, especially when you're in AFC South, you have to deal with Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill, and Davis Mills. Those are your quarterbacks you got to deal with. And Texans, not too well. I mean, the only team that you probably have a tough time with is the Colts, maybe even the Titans. With their offensive line there as well. But you need some type of pass rush to finally get off that field, to contribute wins eventually, to build this team. Now, I'm not saying the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they select Aiden Hutchinson, could be this all-time great, going to be in the Super Bowl next year like the Cincinnati Bengals out of nowhere last year. But I think that's going to be a great pick for them. For their sake, especially when you need a pass rusher to pair up with Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then our final talking point for tonight. I'll kick this one off first. Question is, who could potentially trade up for the first overall pick? First overall pick.
Ooh.
Now, if you're the Jacksonville, and I said at the beginning of the episode, man, this is not like the super sexy year for a quarterback. Well, guess what? Jaguars got a quarterback in last year's draft, Trevor Lawrence. He showed some promise, right? But this is a very deep draft in O-line. Very deep draft. There's a good amount of D linemen in there as well too. I think once you get to 4th round, it kind of starts drying up a little bit. But some good. You'll be able to get some good prospects up until then. Very receiver deep, very, very, this is a good overall draft. This is a very good deep at the running back, but they don't need that neither, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Jacksonville, man, if somebody wants that overall pick, man, I don't see it happening, number one. And then number two, Aiden Hutchinson is Evan Hutchinson or Evan Neal or O'Neal. Yeah, Evan Neal.
Evan Neal, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I say, man, stay put, build with what you got. But if in the event you do trade, get as much collateral for this year, next year, because Jacksonville is one of those teams that they need almost every dang position, man. They need like 80%. It's almost like a tryout team. It's like if they added a USFL team to the NFL. That's what the Jacksonville Jaguars are right now, right? So very interesting to see what they do. What you got, man? Do you think they trade up? Someone trades up to the first overall pick?
I just don't see it. I really don't see anybody really trading up for the first round. I think Jacksonville is pretty confident in staying there. I know they were confused right now, seeing who they should select, who they shouldn't. I mean, the only way they'll trade down is if they probably trade from the one spot to the fifth spot. But I don't really see anything much there. I want to throw something out there. I know it's a little bit off topic, but I think if there was going to be a trade on the top 5, I think Detroit and the Giants will definitely be a great swap if you think about it. If the Giants like somebody they like for example, Charles Cross, they need protection there for Daniel Jones, if you think about it, and they feel that if some team's going to get Charles Cross before them, I think they can make that jump going to number 2 in Detroit, going down to 7, again, probably some collateral in the second round, if you think about it. Because Charles Cross is definitely a great offensive lineman, especially in the past. Not great in the run, where you probably wanted to see Saquon succeed a little bit more, but he'll bring protection there. That's something the Giants need also on the offensive line as well. But going back to that topic of the Jaguars, I just don't see any team really. I'll be shocked if the number 1 pick will be traded, but I wouldn't be surprised if the number 2 pick gets traded.
Maybe a little swapperoo, huh?
Hey, I can see it happen. I can see that happening.
That's a good point, E. That's a good hot take.
If you think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The Giants need offensive line. If they really feel someone's going to take them before it, you'd make that switch with Detroit with number 2 and number 7. If he's not moving that far, and Detroit has the number 32nd pick, so they might even throw in that if they really feel confident. But you know.
Hey, what if Miami come through and they're like, hey, we'll trade you one of our.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that. I know that's called fantasy. That's like, what if we can actually appear in this first day and surprise every single buddy there? Nah,
I will say that
happening. I wish, but no.
The cornerback that we got, Byron Jones, rumors, and again, this could just be rumors and people talking mess on Twitter, right? But rumor has it that he could possibly end up get into the trade portal and end up going to another team. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We shall see. That's the fun part about the draft. You don't know who's gonna get traded. Especially Deebo Samuel is definitely gonna be in talks there, and Baker Mayfield is definitely gonna be in talks during this NFL draft. So that has to be another thing that you're gonna start hearing, especially with trade talks and all that.
Oh yeah. Hey, Kyler Murray started a monster, man, by deleting his Instagram photos. And it goes to show you how powerful social media is these days, man, because you're like, oh, I'm going to delete all my beloved pictures from the team that I play for. And then they're like, oh, my gosh, we got to sign him. He wants to leave, and then you put your team in a bad spot. It's like tasteless, but, man, like he started a monster, man. Now a lot of the Deebo Samuel did that, and, watch, we'll have that again later with Terry McLaurin possibly.
It's still an odd way just telling of your disgruntlement towards a team,
Yeah.
Instead of leaving it in closed doors. Just in my opinion, I would just handle that differently than just kind of showing it off of social media and then trying to cause all this controversy. But different times, different era.
Yeah. Now back in the day, man, it's just good old negotiations, man. And you look at Herschel Walker, man. He's one of the greatest running backs ever, right? But he played for he was a Cowboy. He was he was a Philadelphia Eagle. I mean, he played for a lot of different teams, man. Minnesota Vikings, you name it. He played for a whole bunch of teams, man. So, but yeah, these days, man, it's business, right? And then you got the NFL. It's not like the NBA where it's predominantly all guaranteed money, right? These guys, some of them get really good deals, but it's that guaranteed money, man. Even with Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins, right? you know, we got him for the next 2 years, but that third year and fourth year, if he stays, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of what we're gonna have to. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I want to answer this question now. This is an NFL show, but hey, I don't know if you want to tackle this one, E. What do you think about Jabari Smith from Auburn for the NBA Lotto?
All I know is that at this point right now, I still got to look into more in depth with Jabari Smith there, where I have him in the NBA Draft Lotto. I've heard he's been good on Auburn. He's in the draft portal, but I still got to look into more on that as of right now. I don't know exactly how well he is right now, how good he is, to be honest. But he's definitely going to be in the first round or possibly late in the first round there. If I had to give my prediction right now.
Love it. Hey, maybe
I still got to put in more depth into it a little bit more, but it's early. I know it's early. I know the NBA draft's coming in June, but I gotta get right now. My main focus right now has been the NFL drafts. That's why I haven't got into too much into the NBA draft.
Oh yeah. So. Hey, here I'll end the episode today on this. Matt Ariza, San Diego State punter. What round would you just talk to me, man? Diga man.
I know how long you want me. What round
would you have him going?
Fifth. Probably the earliest is fifth. I will not see him third. I know how much you want to see him going to Miami third round, but fourth, nah.
I would take him at fourth, my man.
I wouldn't even take him at fourth. I say fifth. Yeah, see, look, at least Adrian is listed in here. At least Adrian is listening in there. Fifth. I say
that
fifth.
Adrian fifth going to the Rams. I could see that. Man, it's like Sebastian Janikowski, right? He went in the
first round.
Was he a first round?
I'm pretty sure he was a first round.
He was a second.
Correct me, or second round. But he was really early for a kicker. There. He was really early for a kicker. Yeah. And to know John Gruden didn't like him at all, and he wanted to trade him every time he had a chance, which he eventually cut. And once John Gruden went back to the Raiders.
Yeah,
if you know that history there, but.
Yeah, nah, man. Yeah, but I mean, if you get that generational type kicker, man, I say go for him at fourth, man. I mean, look, get your guy. It's the draft, baby.
You better hope he is. Then you gotta explain that to your fans. Why'd you select him over this great wide receiver? Let's say Justin Jefferson. Let's say, why did you choose him over him? Huh? What did you see in him? And then next thing you know, he goes and produced 6 out of 12 field goals and misses a game winner that could have won you the game, and then you cut him. So those are the consequences you take. Hey, that's all I say. If you're gonna draft a special teams guy that early, you better hear that critique there. That's all I say.
Yeah,
that's all I say.
You got Adrian Campbell, man. That's my co-host, man. Shout out to my guy, man. I just don't see a punter, not kicker, going higher than a fifth round, and even then that's
probably like the highest I even say fifth, but mostly 6, 7 or unrestricted free agencies normally where the punters mostly will go.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Pat McAfee, man, he's going to be celebrating, man, if he goes high, man. At Riza. I love it, man. Well, folks, that's all we have here today, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that y'all go ahead and can't even talk today. Go ahead and hit subscribe, baby. Hit subscribe. That helps the channel grow. Hit the little bell there so that way you get alerts whenever the videos come out. Drop a comment. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you neutral? Do you just hate our guts and want to cuss us out? Go down in the comment section, man. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. Y'all have a blessed night. Make sure to subscribe. We got a lot more content. I have a whole bunch of NFL draft mini clips coming this weekend. In other words, I'll be recording on my dang phone. But we're going to have a lot of fun this weekend, man. And then we got a live show. Adrian Campbell will be there. My co-host Mike Williams and Isaac Davidson next Sunday night. Please stop on by. We're going to have a good time, man. We're actually going to be grading every single division. So a little bit longer show, an hour 15 or so. And as my dog Adrian,
that is going to be
we back. Welcome back. It's going
to be a lot of grading. I'll tell you that much. That's going to take quite some time for some grading to go really in depth with everybody.
It's gonna be a good time, man. We're gonna piss people off. People are gonna celebrate with us, man. It's gonna be a freaking fantastic time.
Never know. Never know.
Absolutely, man. But y'all have a good night. Subscribe if you want to donate. Information's down below. And E on the mic, thank you for stopping by. Go down below, subscribe. I got his I have his Twitter, I have his Instagram. He has where you're like 40-something thousand followers on TikTok.
TikTok, correct? Yes. TikTok,
Man,
correct? Yes.
my man be putting in work, man. He's putting in work.
And the YouTube's steadily going up there. YouTube's getting there a little bit more with them shorts. So I'm starting to appear a little bit more on YouTube now. So.
Oh yeah. So E on the mic, as y'all see in the picture back him. Go ahead, check him out, man. Look, season 2 energy loaded, man. We on our way, man. So have a good night, man. Peace and God bless. Catch y'all soon.
Peace.
Peace. Ooh, E.